They need to.
I still won't put her name on it.
Oh, there.
Okay.
Where's the sound? We will start at 9 a.m.
I need to get that.
There's Orleans here.
They don't even know their voice is on. Who's that? Julian Winston?
No, 236.
Oh, 236. Yeah, okay.
Hello, everyone.
Here we go.
No, for some reason the video was not loading on time.
Okay, I'm just going to get my video turned on. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. My name is
Hello, good
Kerrie. Good morning. I have a very special guest with us this morning. Joining us all the way from Louisiana is Maria Manzella.
Good morning,
And
everyone.
Yay! And she is a director of tourism for New Orleans. So we're very excited to have her with us this morning. Yes, I was playing a short video that Maria had sent us. It's a really fun jazz video to show sort of an overview of New Orleans. And if it got, I don't know if it played really well. So what I'll do is we are recording this webinar this morning, and I'll make sure I attach the video when I send out the recording, so you can watch that at home at your leisure.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea because it was difficult to hear it.
Okay.
Yes, unfortunately.
It's hard with technology. We've come so far with technology, especially we've learned so much during COVID, going online, becoming digital, and yet we are still struggling with playing short videos. But we'll make sure that you get that because it is a really fun video. So this morning we are here to bring life to this New Orleans and Louisiana tour. I know you are going to fall in love with New Orleans. I have been once myself, had such a fabulous time. And of course, New Orleans is famous for being the birthplace of jazz and rhythm and blues. So we heard a little bit of that this morning.
My sound isn't loud enough, but I can't make it louder.
I'm just going to mute some of our guests here. There we go. Make sure if you're in our audience this morning, just make sure you have your microphones muted and your video cameras off as well. That would be wonderful. And so Maria, can you tell us a little bit about how it is in New Orleans and about your
Yes.
background? Yeah.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm very excited, so excited to welcome back our neighbors from Canada. We've missed you all so much, and it's time for people to get back together. If you have been to the city before, you'll see that not much changes. You know, especially in the French Quarter area, which is the historic district of the city and downtown, in the heart of the city. If you have not been here before, you'll see there's a mix of a contemporary city with some area with the big high rises and the business district, but yet still some of that colonial type architecture in the historic district. And we are still very close to our tradition. So you'll love it. I'm Maria Manzella. I'm the Director of Tourism for New Orleans and Company, which is the tourism bureau here in the city. And I have been at the bureau for 12 years now. I'm originally from Honduras. There's a large population of Central Americans here in the city that started in the 60s, 70s with the banana and the United Fruit Company, and we ended up kind of building our own Central American community here. But I've been here. I came here to go to school. I met my husband in school, and now I've been here for 30 years. So, and I love to be at the bureau, just welcoming people from all over the world. So very happy to have you.
Oh, that's fantastic. What an interesting background. I think that's one of the things learning about New Orleans is there's such an eclectic mix of backgrounds, which is why the food is so well known, because we have all these cultures coming together and bringing all these delicacies to life. I know you're going to be taking your taste buds basically on tour as well. Yeah. And there's lots of history and culture that we're going to learn about. So what I would like to do, I'm going to go ahead and share my screen so we can go through the itinerary that you will experience on this particular tour. So just give it a minute to load. Let me know, Maria, if you can see that on your end.
Working, loading.
Okay.
There we go.
Perfect. Okay, great.
Mm-hmm.
So very excited to be going back. We were in New Orleans in 2019, had a fabulous time. Some of the photographs today in the photos Maria sent in, or they were from our 2019 tour. So you may see some of your friends on the previous tours. So this tour is leaving in October 17th for 10 days. I've thrown up a small map here just to see. Louisiana is divided into 5 distinct regions. And on this tour, we're going to experience 3 on this vacation. So we fly in and out of New Orleans, of course. Got something in my way of my screen here. And make our way. We'll spend 3 nights in New Orleans touring around the city. We're going to make our way down into the plantation country, over to Thibodaux. I don't know if I'm saying that correctly. Is that right, Maria?
Kerrie, in Thibodaux. Yes, Thibodaux. Kerrie, there's a square pixelated image. I don't know if you have something open on your computer that we don't see. That one right there. There.
That's what it's gone. Great. I was trying. Okay, thank you. Then we make our way out into Lafayette. We spend 3 nights in this region. We have a tour out to Avery Island. This is where the famous Tabasco factory is. Then make our way to Baton Rouge, and then make our way back into New Orleans and fly out of right out of the city. So that is just a summary of the overview. So we leave on the end of September, actually September 25th. We're going to drive down to Seattle overnight at the Embassy Suites. This is right near the airport, so great location. And then we'll be flying the next morning on Tuesday. So we fly with Alaska Airlines to New Orleans and arrive in the late afternoon. Our coach will meet us at the airport and we'll be staying 3 nights at the Wyndham Hotel. This hotel is located right in the heart of downtown in the French Quarter. Nice property, does have free Wi-Fi, a restaurant on site, an indoor pool, and even a fitness center. And Maria might be able to tell us maybe a little bit more about this property. Have you stayed here, Maria, or you know?
I have visited the hotel many times. The Wyndham French Quarter is a great partner of New Orleans and Company, and they work with groups throughout the year. So ample space in the rooms, in the halls, and great location. It's just about half a block from the intersection of Canal Street at Canal Street. So your coach will drop you off right there and you'll just walk maybe about half a block into the French Quarter to get to the hotel. Great location with
Excellent.
access to great restaurants.
Great, because you will have a little bit of free time when you arrive to go and walk around on your own and check out some of the fabulous restaurants. And there's lots of nightlife and music always happening. So it is a really fun area to be staying in. Then the next morning, we have a bit of a leisure morning breakfast at the hotel. Then a local guide will be taking us on a walking tour of the French Quarter. So we can get up close and personal to lots of the highlights around the French Quarter. We'll go to the Spanish Quarter, the St. Louis Cathedral, which is in Jackson Square. We'll see Louis Armstrong Park and even walk down Bourbon Street. And yeah, go ahead, Maria. Let us know what you see in the photos or anything you want to add.
Yeah, so with the walking tour, you'll have just a general overview of the history of the French Quarter, easy to walk around, and you have to keep this in mind. And I love this about the French Quarter. At nighttime, it's a completely different scene than what it is in the morning. You'll see a lot of businesses waking up, the hotels, the restaurants getting their food or their drinks delivered. So there's a lot of hustle and bustle in the morning. The streets are getting cleaned in the morning, early in the morning. And then you have to ask your tour guide to bring you on Royal Street to see if you can catch some of these musicians that station themselves during the daytime right on Royal Street, and it just depends on the day and the time, right? So make sure that you ask them to stop by so you can catch some of that live music. They just pick a corner and they just start playing their music. It's great to watch.
Love it. I could not believe the amount of musicians just around the city when I was there. There's just live music happening all around you. It just is so exciting.
Yes.
All right. Awesome. Then after the walk, we will all get a voucher to enjoy at your leisure. But a New Orleans tradition is coffee and beignets. So we are going to a famous cafe, which is called Café du Monde. And there's free time. So we'll enjoy coffee and beignets here. And then we have time for lunch at the historic French Market. And I did a little bit of research, learned that the French Market opened in 1791. So it has been in existence for over 200 years and remained a pride and symbol of New Orleans. And it has been, of course, over the years destroyed but rebuilt many times. But it's a market full of spirit and community and culture, and lots of daily vendors and farmers markets and eateries and sort of cafe style seating. So this is where you will have your lunch. But maybe Maria, could you tell us maybe a bit more about the beignets? I know they're a very popular pastry in New Orleans. They look delicious. Yeah.
Now, I don't know if you want to do this right before your lunch, because For one thing, you don't want to share your order of beignets. You get 3 beignets and you want to eat them all. I promise you. No sharing beignets. So I don't know if you want to do that right before the lunch, because it is, filling. So the Café du Monde, this location at the French Market, right across from Jackson Square, is open 24 hours. So keep that in mind. If you want a little break in the afternoon, you can always go back for your coffee. There's also a second Café du Monde that opened at City Park. And I think you guys will have a city tour, right? That will bring you into City Park.
Yes.
You might want to consider that a stop, and maybe take advantage of your voucher there for your coffee. But a must do, regardless of the time or the day, while you're in New Orleans. And it's just as soon as you get out of the Café du Monde stand, you can start walking towards the French Market, and you see some of the little boutiques and the shops. But once you get into the French Market itself, you see more of local arts and crafts. You'll see New Orleans scenes and paintings and masks and things like that, as well as those food vendors that Kerrie mentioned. And you can go from, I think there is a smoothie stand to an oyster stand. And there's also restaurants where you have a sit down service also. So you have the options are there.
Excellent. Yeah, we'll make sure, yes, to time the beignets, maybe not right before lunch. That's a good point. So I'll double check our itinerary, but we'll definitely make sure that you have time for both.
Gary, you have still a little pixelated square that kind of it's over the words. Yeah, maybe at the bottom. Yeah,
I
that
don't
would be
think I
better so
can.
they could read.
Yeah, I think I can't unfortunately move that, but I'll move it over there. Maybe that's
Yep, this is good because we
hopefully a
can
bit
read the
better.
top.
Okay, great.
Perfect. Hope that works for everyone. Yes.
Yes, thank you. Okay. Now, then we are doing a driving tour of the city. So we're going to board a coach for this, get us a little bit outside the French Quarter. One of the famous stops is the St. Louis Cemetery. This is an above ground cemetery known for its voodoo history. And I know there is a very famous resting place for voodoo queen Marie Laveau. And she was a very powerful voodoo priestess who lived in New Orleans in the 19th century. And they say that she even continues her work and magic beyond the grave. So you're going to learn all about her and
They
all
just
about
say that.
voodoo, I think. Do they say? Yeah, I was reading that.
So people bring offerings, might leave some coins and they might leave some things that people believe in her, in her power beyond the grave. So this is a great stop. This above ground, I don't know if you have the same structures in your cemeteries, but this is very European. It came to us from the Europeans, just like across Latin America as well. We have this above ground mausoleums for the tombs, and so you'll hear some funny tidbits about how this helps in New Orleans with the floodings and the rains that we get here in the city and our history of rains. But you'll also see the tomb of Marie Laveau, and also this the tomb of Nicolas Cage, who has a tomb, even though he's still alive. He has a spot in the in the cemetery. It's great. It's just great to go see. Great to hear the stories. And just see, go through the history of the cemeteries in New Orleans while you do that.
That's very interesting. So then this still remains an active grave site if people can still buy plots here, or?
Yeah, at this
Yeah.
point, this one, I think is now only the people that already own it or is passed down
Okay.
to the families. There are other cemeteries that are above ground that you could buy plots into, but I think this the St. Louis #1, you may not have any more space or any more plots to buy. I think it remains only if that was in your and your family. Otherwise, the Archdiocese of New Orleans takes care of the properties.
Okay, very
Mhm.
interesting. I think
Mhm.
that's going to be a very interesting stop. And so that's the picture on the left, of course. Now on the right, you can just see this beautiful mansion, gorgeous trees. This is St. Charles Avenue. It's an elegant street. It is lined with all these gracious mansion and beautiful trees. So we will tour down there. And then we also go to the business district beside the Mississippi River.
Yeah, so
Anything to
this
add?
tour,
Yeah.
Kerrie, yeah, the
Mhm.
tour, it really, the city tour that you will do in a motor coach, it just gives you a general overview of the city. You probably will start in the French Quarter, so you go along Decatur Street and see the French Market, and then you'll go up Esplanade Avenue, also a beautiful street, beautiful avenue with lined with trees as well that leads up to the city park area. But you'll see the difference in the architecture on Esplanade Avenue. You'll see a little bit more Creole shotgun cottages in the architecture as you go towards City Park. And then once you get into the uptown area of New Orleans, where you go into St. Charles Avenue, you'll see more grandeur, right? You'll see more antebellum homes and more Greek revival architecture right along with the oak trees lining St. Charles. So it's two different types of neighborhoods for sure. Both beautiful. Esplanade is colorful and picturesque, and St. Charles Avenue is more grand. So you'll see the difference in the two neighborhoods in the architecture, and the difference that it just all makes the city so colorful in a way.
Hmm. That sounds beautiful. Okay, then this evening, tonight, we do have an elegant dinner planned. Now, this is our tour from 2019, so look for any of your friends in the photo. And this is at the Court of Two Sisters. It is a legend in New Orleans. It's known for its Creole and Cajun cuisine. When you pass through their charming gates, you can make a wish in the Devil's Wishing Well. And they will tell you all about the story of Emma and Bertha, which is the two sisters who are named after this restaurant, who I believe ran a notions shop once upon a time here in the French Quarter. So this has been dedicated to them. Maybe Maria can tell us a bit more.
Yeah, this is an iconic restaurant of the French Quarter, and also another great partner of New Orleans and Company. People love to come here. They do have the jazz brunch during the day, every day. So it just attracts so many people. And the courtyard is beautiful, as you can see. I hope if the weather is perfect for y'all in October, it should be, you have a chance to enjoy this scenery here. So you can enter from Royal, but also has access to Bourbon Street on the other side as well. And great service.
Yeah, the courtyard looks just gorgeous.
Yes, beautiful.
Okay. Now, our next day, so this will be Thursday, October 20th, we have a leisure morning breakfast at the hotel. Then at 11 a.m., we will be boarding the Natchez Riverboat. This is one of the few stern wheel vessels left on the Mississippi River, but there will be a jazz band on board. We'll have a buffet lunch. It is a 2-hour cruise around the crescent bend of the Mississippi, and we pass downtown. So you see the high rises of downtown. You'll see the sugar refinery. You'll even pass by the site of the Battle of New Orleans during the War of 1812. And I have done this cruise myself when I was in New Orleans, and it was so much fun. We came off singing and dancing, just lots of music and great food, and then some really fabulous scenery. I did it at night, so a bit of a different perspective, but during the day, I think you'll be able to see a lot of the surrounding city.
Yes, at night you only see the lights, more of the skyline, but this is also another must do while you're in town. It really just pulls together and once you leave and go into the other areas of Louisiana, you'll see how it all pulls together with the history of the region in general, Louisiana history. Plus you get your jazz lunch. It's a a band that plays Dixie jazz, so very lively music. I'm pretty sure that you'll be welcome to dance if you feel like doing that as well.
Fun. It's hard not to start to move your body when you hear
Right.
all the music.
All the
Yeah.
music, right.
Yeah. Okay, then in the afternoon, we're going to visit Mardi Gras World. And this is really the spirit of New Orleans. I mean, everyone's heard of Mardi Gras, of course, but this is the place where you go behind the scenes and get a glimpse really at where they make all the floats. And we are going to tour the carnival dens and observe the artists and sculptures as they're creating all of these huge floats. There really are the world's largest fleet of floats, and you can try on some of the elaborate costumes. So it's kind of behind the scenes where all the magic happens, and really learn about the history of Mardi Gras, which I just learned yesterday is French for Fat Tuesday.
Yes.
Which, yeah, so I didn't.
The Fat Tuesday. The Fat Tuesday, which actually is the ending of the Mardi Gras season, of what we call carnival season, before Lent begins, because it's all tied to the Catholic traditions and before Easter. So where you are eating and partying and dancing and music before Lent begins, and you have to give up your candy, your food, your drinks before Easter. But this is a great spot. If you haven't been to New Orleans and seen Mardi Gras World, if you haven't been to New Orleans to see Mardi Gras or during Mardi Gras, it really is so much fun, so colorful. You learn there's so much more about the tradition of carnival in the city of New Orleans. Is a tradition that is 200 years old. And it starts on January 6th and is very much a local event, as it is for, an event for tourists. And everyone here is involved. I have a ride in the parades with my husband and my children on the kid-friendly, Saturday afternoons parades, because there are those. So you'll learn a lot about the different traditions. You learn a lot about Mardi Gras, and behind the scenes, you'll see the artists making the floats and working on the floats. And you'll see also some of the floats from last season, from this year. And you'll see some of those floats that are being worked on for 2023. So you'll get a little bit of both, and you'll be welcome to take pictures there. And you'll be your tour guide will tell you a little bit about the traditions and the different private parties and events. And there is one king of carnival, which is Rex, and he parades on the Tuesday, on the Fat Tuesday. But every club and every private organization that puts Mardi Gras together, that brings Mardi Gras to life, have their own king and queen. So all of those are celebrated privately prior to the parades, and it's a huge, events and ball gowns and lots of fundraisers going on. So you'll hear all about that and the traditions of Mardi Gras as well during your tour.
I was able to visit Mardi Gras World when I was in New Orleans, and the floats are just mind blowing. They really are larger than life. And if you can see in the pictures, they just really bring everything to life. It's a really great tour.
Yes.
Yeah, I loved being there. Then tonight, this is a fun evening. We're going to have, something happened. I think did my screen change?
It's loading.
Oh dear. Why did that
There it
happen?
is.
Okay. Just going to start that again. Sorry, everyone. Not sure why that happened. Some days you just can't win with technology.
Okay, it's loading. Mm. Good. So we're seeing it. No, it went away again.
Oh dear, I wonder what's going on. It went away again?
Uh-huh.
Because it's still showing on my screen. You can't see that. Okay.
It's loading right now.
Oh dear.
Okay, we see the first slide.
Okay, well, let's
There
just
we
see.
go.
I'm not sure what happened, everyone. I'm so sorry. Okay, we're back on track. We are having
Yes.
dinner. Oh,
Yes.
now we're hungry because we had to wait so long. And I need to move this little box. We're going to have dinner at the New Orleans School of Cooking.
Mhm.
And this is where we're going to prepare and taste the Louisiana Cajun and Creole. There's going to be recipes provided. So you're going to have a host who's going to teach you the recipes, and you can watch them cooking. You'll get to try everything, and there'll be lots of tales and trivia. And there's a picture on the right, which is the famous seafood gumbo, which is very popular in New Orleans. This may or may not be what he cooks that evening, but it is a very fun, interactive evening.
Yes, I think this is fun. And you'll see how it's so close to your hotel as well. And the French Quarter is a really small area. So it's maybe about a block from the riverboat from the Natchez in that same area. It's a demonstration. You'll get to hear history of the New Orleans food, Creole and Cajun, and there is a calendar of what the meals are served. I don't know what will be arranged for you in October, but it will be traditional New Orleans dishes. It could be jambalaya, things like gumbo, um, um, pralines, or another dessert, or etouffees. It could be a seafood, crawfish or shrimp etouffee, whatever it is on the menu. It is definitely one of the staple dishes from the city or the area for sure.
I love jambalaya.
Hmm.
Okay, now next we're on to our day number 5. This is Friday, and we are going to go out a bit more outside of the city and go more into the rural Louisiana area and visit some of the plantations. And we'll sort of see and learn the perspectives of both the wealthy and the workers. We'll step back in time as we drive through all these beautiful plantations along the Mississippi River and see some of the splendid homes and, of course, the sugar fields. One of the plantations we visit is this one you see in the picture. It's called Oak Alley Plantation. Absolutely spectacular 400-meter long canopy of giant live oak trees, believed to be 300 years old. These were 3 of our happy guests in 2019. And even though it rained, they're having a wonderful time. They have ponchos on, it looks like. So it might be good to remember to pack a poncho just in case it could rain. And then you can see the absolutely beautiful building in the background there, which we are going to, I think that is an antebellum style home. And then we do have lunch there and followed by a house tour.
Great. This is great. So this view is from the river towards the house. And if you are in the balcony of the house, which you will have a chance to be and take some pictures from the balcony, you'll be looking out at the river far on the, on the other side where these ladies are there. But this is a great stop. It's really beautiful. Both of the properties that you'll be seeing are beautiful, and they are different in their history as well. So it's great that you're doing both. The other plantation, Laura, is a woman, Laura, a Creole woman that owned the plantation, as opposed to being a man and a sugar land owner, which is the history in this case for Oak Alley. So there's two different stories there, and the architecture is different, and the tour is definitely going to be different. But you'll have a chance to see and hear the stories here of both. It's great, great, great addition to the tour. And I was saying how the part of this tour outside of New Orleans really brings the history of Louisiana and the region together, because Laura actually herself had a home in the French Quarter as well. So I think this was actually her second home here in the plantation. So a wealthy Creole woman, with a history at the time where you had the sugar land owners owning all of the land along the river. So this is great, and you'll just fall in love with this. And the picture, it really is as beautiful as you see. Yes.
Yeah, the ladies are having a wonderful day there. This was a huge highlight on the tour. We got
Absolutely,
some great feedback on this day. Then our next day, we're doing a pontoon boat trip through a cypress swamp, and we're going to float among trees. Of course, you see the beautiful Spanish moss, and we get to watch for fat alligators. And yes, don't worry, this is the guide down with this huge alligator. You'll be behind the fence, but the alligators are this big, and you'll see turtles and egrets, many other native birds and animal species. So we spend the morning here, we do the float cruise, and then in the afternoon we explore the Acadian Cultural Center, and we'll learn more about the Acadians and sort of their history in Louisiana. And I think I have one more photo so these were our guests last year getting off the pontoon boat. There are lots of animals, so you can hold little crocodiles. There's a baby crocodile on the left, or if you're brave enough, I do not think I am, you can hold this snake. I am not sure what kind of snake it is, but these are our guests holding and petting the snake. That looks terrifying to me.
Yes.
Then our next day, so we're staying 3 nights. We're now in the Lafayette region. We have 3 nights here. So we'll be overnighting Lafayette. Then our next day, we have a local guide. They're going to join us for the next 2 days, and we're going to tour around Cajun country. A few of the highlights, we're going to visit the Longfellow Evangeline Historic Site, which is what the picture that you see here on the left. And then in the afternoon, we're going to see the beautiful stained glass windows of St. John's Cathedral, which is the picture on the right. And there's some other highlights included as well, but it's going to be lots of history and touring different sites on these couple of days. Anything to add about these 2 locations?
I do love Lafayette. I'm not familiar with the cathedral. So no, I'm not familiar with these sites,
Okay.
but I do, Lafayette is such a fun place. It's growing so much, and it really is going to be a different side to Louisiana. New Orleans, you'll find people that speak French, and you'll see a lot of churches in the quaint towns, and the outside, you'll see a very a good difference between the two. New Orleans, and once you get back to Baton Rouge as well, from the stops that you're making in Lafayette, and you're going to Avery Island as well, right?
Yes, correct. Yeah, so then our next day, we are still sort of in the Cajun country, but we're going to visit Vermilion. And this is an Acadian village of living history. So again, this is a picture from our 2019 tour. You can see there's some people dressed in the time, and there's our group learning about the gardens. But there are lots of buildings that are restored, and they date back to 1765. So you do a really nice tour here and learn just sort of all about Vermilion. And I don't know, do you have anything else to add about this
Well, this will
location?
be a little bit of a talk and demonstration of how things were in the time for the Acadians in the village, when they first came in. Really quaint, really small area, but interesting to learn, all the different ways they had of living. Just like, the same thing in the plantations. You'll get the the hosts dressed in period costumes and dresses, and kind of telling you and talking to you, talking through what it was to live, in those times.
Hmm. Okay. Then this evening we go to Randall's Cajun restaurant. This is a dance hall as well. So we eat delicious Cajun food, and then we have live Cajun music and dancing to lively tunes. So it sort of brings all of the history and food and music together in this region. So I know this is going to be a fun night.
A fun night, yes.
Mm-hmm. You're going to get your toes tapping for sure. You won't be able to. You'll dance off all the delicious food you've been eating the last couple of days. Yeah. Now, this is the next day, so day number 8. We're going to visit the Tabasco factory. So yes, this is on Avery Island, and Avery Island is approximately 3 miles inland from Vermilion Bay. So it is close. And of course, we all, I'm sure, have heard of Tabasco. It is the famous hot sauce. And a gentleman named Ned McHenny, he took over this company from his father in 1898. So this is our group just having some fun in touring the facility. You're going to have to try maybe some of the different Tabascos or bring some home. Might be some flavors there we can't get in Canada. And
I think you do get a
yes.
tasting during the tour, but this is the only place where Tabasco sauce is made.
Right.
It is the original place, and it's still the only place where it is made. And you'll see the production. You'll see a little bit, the conveyor belts in the factory happening, and they'll walk you through how the process goes through for the peppers. And you'll learn that here, and you'll see how in different countries people prefer different Tabasco sauces, right? So you'll learn all about that as well, and the many flavors that you have, and also the beautiful grounds at the Tabasco factory. They have beautiful gardens, and they have beautiful buildings. It's really wonderful to see. And they also have, I think, a restaurant and gift shop and things like that for you to take a little break if you wanted to do that. But it is a lot of fun and interesting to know and to learn what are the tastes of people in other countries. But yeah, this is the only place where this is made.
Do you know if this is stayed within the family, this business?
Yes.
It is, yes, still to this day. Wow.
Yes.
Because, yes, I was reading yesterday that Ned, when he took over in 1898, as you mentioned, the property, the grounds are supposed to be spectacular. He also set aside on Avery Island a bird sanctuary. He was an environmentalist. And he really wanted to protect the endangered egrets. And I mentioned earlier that you may have a chance to see the egrets when you're doing the pontoon boat tour. So make sure you look for those. I have a picture. They're these absolutely gorgeous herons. They're a medium-sized heron, a white heron, and they're called the snowy egret. So he set aside a area on the island to help protect them, because in the late 1800s, the plume hunters had decimated their population. So with protection and populations, they have recovered in recent decades, which is great news. Gorgeous birds. So hopefully you'll see some of them on the island. He also created gardens, as Maria mentioned, and he has a garden called the Jungle Gardens, which was opened in 1935. And today there is a vast collection. There are over 400 varieties of camellias here, 100 types of azaleas, 50 kinds of juniper, and 1,000 varieties of iris. So just spending some time walking around, seeing all these beautiful gardens, tasting the Tabasco. And that's really interesting that it's still, the whole company has stayed within the family. And it's only made in New Orleans. I didn't realize that. Okay.
Uh-huh.
I'm already learning so much this morning. All right. Then we also, on the same day, we do visit in the late afternoon. We're going to go and visit a rice mill. And this rice mill is the Conrad Rice Mill. It's independently owned and operated. It's located very close, I think, to Avery Island. And it was established in 1912. So it's the oldest independently owned rice mill in the United States. So it's still a working rice mill. They have lots of varieties that they sell. So again, we tour around and learn how the facilities work and how the production of rice is bagged and sold. Have you visited this rice location?
No,
Maria, have
I
you
have
been?
not.
No.
No, I have not.
Yeah, it looks like an interesting. I mean, it's neat to see that some of these businesses have survived all of these years and carried on their traditions. So lots of history. Then a little bit more history. We're going to visit Martin's Accordions, and this is a shop. It's been there for 30 years. They make the single row handmade accordions for musicians around the world. So professionals and beginners alike rely on what they call their squeeze boxes. I didn't know accordions also were nicknamed squeeze boxes. I learned that yesterday, but this is a picture of our group listening and learning about the musical instruments and even trying on the right. One of our ladies is trying to play the accordion. So if you're an accordion fan or you know how to play, this is going to be a great stop for you. I've never tried to play an accordion. It looks like it might be more difficult than it seems.
It is, believe it or not.
Yeah.
You need to have your biceps working really hard to do this. My husband and my older son, my husband plays the piano. My older son plays the bass. They're jazz musicians, and my husband's grandfather, who was Italian, which is where my last name is Italian by marriage. He used to play the accordion, and we have his accordion at home. It's not easy. It takes a lot of strength for you to be, especially for the lively music. And you want to make some lively music, you really have to work hard at it. So I hope one of you leave this Martin's accordion shop learning how to do it. And maybe the next time around you come in and do entertainment for the group.
I love it. Okay, and we have one more day. So we are spending our last day. We're going to head up east into the Baton Rouge area. Again, different scenery, different architecture. We have a local guide who will meet us here. We're going to do a driving tour around, of course, the state capitol, which is what you see in the photograph, and learn about some tales of some crooked Louisiana politicians. And
there are a few.
There's a few. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll visit.
I think there is a list actually where you there may be about 20 or over 20 on the list of crooked politicians, and I'm sure it is growing as we go along in the history of Louisiana. So you'll see that there.
Oh dear, I think everywhere there's gotta be there's some. So that's going to be interesting. And then we also are going to visit the Rural Life Museum. So this is sort of a morning tour that takes us into the afternoon. And then in the late afternoon, we do fly home. So we make our way back to New Orleans and fly back to Seattle. So we'll stay overnight in Seattle, and then we make our way home on the final day, which is day number 10. And we will just stop at Bellis Fair Mall so you can do some duty-free shopping if you have any money left. Hopefully you buy lots of interesting trinkets in New Orleans, but there is a stop at duty-free as well. And then we cross the border and travel home to all of your home cities.
Mm-hmm.
So now I'm just going to stop sharing my screen. So that is the itinerary in a nutshell. And thank you so much, Maria, for bringing your tidbits and background knowledge and sort of brought the tour to life for myself. I learned lots of information from you this morning. It's going
You're
to be,
welcome. Thank you very much for having me. I should have sent you some information on the restaurant so you could add it. But I'll send you an email and perhaps you could add it maybe to the PowerPoint slides. Just some
sure.
suggestions on some restaurants for the dinner on the first night. And like I
Perfect.
said, the hotel is in a great location, so there are a few restaurant options just within walking distance. And I will also send you some suggestions on things they might want to keep an eye out for while they're walking around, things like that. If they have the chance maybe to see a museum, there's a couple of wonderful museum on Royal Street, the New Orleans Historic Collection. It's
Okay.
free admission. They have added one more building in the French Quarter to as part of the exhibits. It's beautiful, well done, and it's free admission. So if you have the chance to roam around, you can do that. Also, the Cocktail Museum, which is the Sazerac House, it's about 2 blocks walking distance from the hotel. Also free admission if you have the chance to stop, while you're walking around a little bit. So I'll send that information to you, and you can share that for the group after.
That would be fabulous.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So at the beginning, we had that short video that Maria sent in as well, which is a fantastic video, a little overview of New Orleans with some great music in the background. So what I will do is I will attach that with the PowerPoint with Maria's suggestions and also the recording. So you can rewatch this. And we can open it up if anyone does have any questions this morning for myself or Maria. Go ahead and put those in the chat box. I did see a couple comments in the chat box, and I think I had a date incorrect on the first day that you leave. It is not September 25th. It's October 17th. So I do apologize for that. I will fix that. But if you have any questions, go ahead and pop those in. If not, you can also email myself and I can forward those questions on to Maria or call your local office and we can answer any questions. This tour is about halfway full currently. We do have some seats still available and it is coming up for final payment as of August the 11th. So it doesn't mean you can't book after August the 11th, but it is more availability at that point because we start to finalize air and those sort of bigger ticket items. But if you haven't been to New Orleans, this will be a wonderful opportunity. But I don't think, yeah.
Oh, yes, it will be. I will also, of course, send you some music spots where you guys can go see some live music when you have the chance. So there's lots to do. You won't be bored, that's for sure.
Excellent. Your bellies will be full and your souls will be also full of live music. And yeah, the music there is just out of this world. It's so different than in Canada. We'll have festivals where they have live music, but at any given day, at any given time in New Orleans, you can walk around and walk in somewhere and just there are musicians playing and anything from a washboard to an accordion to a trumpet. And it's just so fun.
Yes.
Yeah, lots of fun.
Thank you very much, Kerrie, for
You're
having me and allowing me
welcome.
to join. I'll be sending you the information.
Okay.
So you can
That's
follow
great.
up.
All right. Well, thank you everyone on behalf of Wells Great Tours and thanks to Maria. And we hope to see you all in New Orleans.
Thank you. Looking forward to having you all. Thank you.
Okay. Take care.